Boarding School Juliet is one of the weirdest and most unique Romeo and Juliet stories out there. It's a rom-com series that ends up with a happy ending, unlike the original Romeo and Juliet. There's a lot of craziness that goes on throughout the course of this series, and you can really feel the tension in the air in a lot of the situations that happen, especially in the middle portion of the story. Despite being a rom-com series, there's a lot of serious moments in this series, and it actually covers some pretty heavy themes like discrimination, and it does so in a very respectful as well as very comedic manner. There's a lot of comedy in those moments, but it is also very serious and feels very much like how it would actually feel to be discriminated against. You guys probably don't know this about me, as I only brought it up once in a joke in my JoJo's video, but I'm Jewish despite my current belief system. As some people may not know, Jewish is both a race and a religion, so although I do not practice the religion, I am still Jewish. But when I was a kid, being from the deep south where everybody around you was a hyper-religious Christian, I would absolutely get bullied for it. From not believing in Santa, to kids flat out saying that I'm just going to burn in hell for not believing in God. It sucked having to go through those experiences as a kid, especially when it was something I couldn't help. I didn't choose to be Jewish, and it sucked to be discriminated against, and hell, there may be people who watch this and flat out hate me for being Jewish, and you know, that's fine. Everyone is allowed to have their own opinions as long as they keep them to themselves. This series handles the topic of discrimination extremely well by not shying away from how evil people can be towards children who have done absolutely nothing wrong. That is one of the big reasons as to why this series resonated with me, because it hit on every personal note for me and also gave me a good few laughs along the way. The way this series went about resolving the situation was also handled extremely well. They never said it would be easy, and they openly displayed it not being very easy at all. But they also showed that there are people out there who won't care about what you look like or where you're from or what religion you believe in. There are people out there who will accept you for being human and being you, which I love. This theme is something that has made the entire series a lot better and made it really resonate with me and probably a lot of other people, as it does handle the topic with a lot of care and really shows that people around the world can change and learn to accept others even if they are different. Okay, let's get off of that serious topic and get back to the rest of the review. The characters in the series are all really well written and funny characters. As we get further along into the series, we start to learn more about some characters and get introduced to new characters, and it really opens up the world and what we thought we knew about. The interactions of the characters are also great. There are so many great interactions between the characters of both factions and both together and separately that really help to show you that despite all the fighting they do, they seem to genuinely be having fun, which becomes a major point in the story. The two main characters of course have the best interactions, but the two main side characters Hazuki and Princess Char also have some great interactions both together and separately, as they are the most trusted people of the two main characters. So if anything happens to Inuzuka and Persia, then those two will do anything to make sure that the ones that they care about are happy. The characters were a blast to read about in the series, mostly due to the comedy that revolved around all the characters that really just made everything a blast. The serious moments with the characters were also great though, and really helped to push the story along when there weren't any jokes that needed to be made, which was cool. The world in the series is also quite interesting to see and learn about. As we get further along in the story, we slowly start to learn more about the two countries and their differences to one another, besides the obvious stuff that you can tell just by looking at the characters and their names. The two countries we explore in the series have heavy influences from the real world. Toa, where Inuzuka is from, obviously takes heavy inspiration from Japan, but the more interesting country, the Principality of the West, takes heavy inspiration from multiple European countries like Italy and France being the most obvious. The way they set everything up makes the world seem very unique, but also having its ties to the real world makes for a really interesting and fun world to explore. The fact that they do go outside of the school and the island it sits on is awesome, as that allows us to see where the characters come from and form a connection with these places, which really allows us to understand why the world is the way it is. The art in this series is really good. The way all the characters look and how the backgrounds are drawn is really nice. The art makes for comedic moments that much better. There are so many moments in this manga where the art is accompanied by a joke that made me laugh so hard that I could be heard throughout my entire house. It's not just the comedic moments though. The art really helps with the more serious moments and really makes them hit that much harder than they otherwise would have by emphasizing character emotions and showing us what they are really going through physically. The paneling in this manga really makes this manga so much better than it needed to be. There are so many moments made better by 1 or 2 page spreads, and the action is made a lot better by the dynamic paneling as well. The art really makes this series and is a big reason as to why you should read this manga, as there are so many amazing looking pages in this manga. Boarding School Juliet is an amazing manga that covers some pretty heavy topics while also being very comedic. This manga has handled everything extremely well, from the art to the story to the characters as well. The series was an absolute blast to read through for so many reasons, from the fact that it was able to perfectly balance comedy with drama to make for a super suspenseful, super funny rom-com. I don't know how this manga did it, but it climbed its way into being one of my favorite manga series out there. I knew I would like this as I liked the anime, but this manga blew me away with how good it actually was and made for a super fun and amazing experience. This is the perfect rom-com series for those people who love rom-coms. I would highly recommend this series to those who have not yet experienced this manga because it is so amazing. If you don't like most rom-coms due to things like ecchi or other things like that, then you don't have to worry, as that is not very prominent in this manga, so you should definitely check this series out.